Most men are ignored long before they are disrespected. They enter rooms and nothing shifts. They speak, and the air remains unchanged. They argue, explain, react, and still they remain unseen. This invisibility is not caused by weakness or lack of effort. It is caused by behavioral leakage. Power leaks through, and the first sign that a man is becoming impossible to ignore begins when those leaks are sealed. Number 1, the first sign is silence that changes the room. The moment a man stops speaking to fill space, the dynamic around him begins to rearrange itself. Machiavelli understood that men fear what they cannot measure. Excessive speech makes you measurable. Silence removes the ruler. This is not shy silence. This is not avoidance. This is controlled absence of noise. You stop narrating your thought. You stop responding just to prove. Sun Tzu wrote that sound reveals position. When you speak unnecessarily, you reveal where you stand, what you feel, and how easily you can be influenced. Silence removes that exposure. People no longer know what you are thinking, planning, or deciding. And when people do not know, they become cautious. Silence creates pressure. Conversations slow down around you. People begin to choose words. They pause before speaking. They wait for your response instead of talking over you. Not because you demanded attention, but because silence forces attention. Robert Greene noted that those who speak less often appear more powerful, not because they know more, but because others assume they do. Silence allows projection. Projection creates significance. Significance creates gravity. Gravity makes you unavoidable. At first, people may misinterpret this silence. They may think you are distant. They may think you are uninterested. They may test you with remarks or provocations. And when no reaction arrives, something changes. They adjust. They stop trying to pull you into low-value exchanges. They stop expecting instant. They begin to account for you instead of overlooking you. This is the dark truth. Men who speak too much are processed quickly. Men who control silence are processed slowly and carefully. Silence removes familiarity. Familiarity is what allows dismissal. When familiarity fades, formality replaces it. Formality brings respect even from those who do not like you. You do not need to speak louder. You do not need sharper words. You simply stop leaking presence through unnecessary sound. If this sign has begun to form within you, drop this affirmation in the comments. Silence carries weight. The second sign appears quietly, but its impact is immediate. People begin to test you and receive nothing back. Not agreement, not anger, not explanation, nothing they can grip. This absence is unsettling to those who rely on emotional access to feel powerful. And slowly, almost without announcement, the tone around you changes. Number 2, the second sign is emotional non-reactivity. Most men are controlled through emotion before they are controlled through logic. Anger makes them loud. Shame makes them explain. Fear makes them rush. Machiavelli understood that the easiest man to dominate is the one whose emotions are visible. Visibility creates leverage. Leverage invites interference. Emotional non-reactivity does not mean emotional numbness. It means emotional containment. You still register what happens. You still understand tone, intent, and subtext, but nothing spills outward automatically. The chain between stimulus and response is broken. When criticized, you do not. When provoked, you do not escalate. When challenged, you do not rush to assert dominance. Sun Tzu wrote that the greatest victory is the one achieved without battle. Reaction is battle at the psychological level. Every visible reaction gives the other side information. Where you are sensitive, what matters to you, how fast you can be moved. When reaction disappears, first people push harder. They repeat the comment, they increase pressure, they shift tactics, and then they hesitate. Because emotional non-reactivity creates uncertainty. Uncertainty makes people cautious. Caution replaces disrespect. When others cannot predict your emotional movement, They slow their own behavior to avoid miscalculation. Robert Greene observed that power often comes from what you withhold, not what you display. Emotional restraint makes you unreadable. Unreadability creates psychological distance. Distance removes familiarity. Familiarity is what allows people to treat you casually. This is where the shift becomes visible. Jokes soften, voices lower, challenges become. People watch before they act. Not because you threatened anything, but because they no longer know the cost of provoking you. Emotional non-reactivity also changes your internal state. Without constant emotional discharge, clarity increases. Decisions stop being rushed by feeling. You begin to act from position instead of impulse. That steadiness becomes noticeable. Others sense that pressure does not bend you easily. Men who react are managed. Men who remain composed become. In tense moments, attention moves toward the calm presence in the room. Calm is interpreted as capacity. Capacity attracts reliance. Reliance turns into quiet authority. CEA. If this sign is forming inside you, drop this affirmation in the comments. I am emotionally unmovable. The third sign emerges when your decisions stop orbiting around other people's reactions. You no longer adjust your direction to be accepted. You no longer soften choices to avoid discomfort in others. This shift is subtle, but it changes how you are perceived at a deep level. Number 3, the third sign is the disappearance of validation-seeking behavior. Most men are ignored because they subconsciously ask for permission to exist as they are. They look for approval in faces, tone, and responses. Machiavelli understood that dependence weakens authority. The man who needs agreement has already surrendered control of his position. When validation-seeking fades, behavior becomes firm. You stop checking reactions. You stop over-clarifying to make sure you are understood. You stop modifying your stance to keep peace. Robert Greene wrote that the strongest presence comes from acting out of inner necessity, not social reward. When you no longer need reassurance, your actions gain weight. People feel that you are not negotiating your self-worth in real time. That alone makes you harder to ignore. This is where internal alignment begins to show externally. Decisions come without, opinions are stated without, silence follows action. Sun Tzu warned that dependence creates vulnerability. Validation seeking exposes pressure points. When you remove the need for approval, those pressure points vanish. Others can no longer steer you with praise or discomfort. Influence attempts lose accuracy. At first, people may misinterpret this shift. They may think you are indifferent. They may think you are distant. They may feel unsettled by your lack of response. But what they are actually sensing is independence. Independence alters hierarchy. When you no longer chase agreement, people instinctively adjust. They become more careful with disagreement. They weigh their words. They sense that their opinion no longer anchors your behavior. This is the moment where being ignored becomes difficult. Men who seek validation blend into the environment. Men who act without it become fixed points. A fixed point attracts attention without demanding it. Others orient themselves around it, consciously or not. This is not arrogance, it is internal certainty expressed quietly. The dark truth is this: approval is cheap, authority is paid for by giving up the need to be liked. If this sign is forming within you, drop this affirmation in the comments. Do not seek validation. The fourth sign appears when time itself begins to behave differently around you. Not because the world slows down, but because you stop being dragged by it. Urgency no longer controls your movement. Pressure no longer accelerates your decisions. This change is immediately felt by others, even if they cannot name it. Number 4, the fourth sign is controlled pace. Most men move fast because they are internally rushed. They speak quickly to secure attention. They decide quickly to escape uncertainty. Machiavelli understood that haste exposes weakness. Speed reveals fear of being left behind. The man who cannot slow himself cannot command situations. Controlled pace is not laziness, it is dominance over timing. Walk without urge. You speak without rushing. You respond after a pause, not immediately. Sun Tzu wrote that those who control tempo control the battle. Tempo is psychological before it is physical. When you move slowly in a fast environment, you force others to adjust. Your calm creates contrast. Contrast creates authority. People begin to feel rushed in their own behavior around you. They speak too fast, then correct themselves. They interrupt, then stop. They explain too much, then realize they are doing it. Robert Greene observed that slowness projects confidence because it signals surplus. Only those who believe they have time can afford to move deliberately. Controlled pace suggests that you are not threatened by outcomes. This suggestion alone elevates your presence. At first, people may mistake this for disinterest. They may push harder. They may increase urgency. They may attempt to pull you into their rhythm. And when you do not follow, something shifts. Their urgency, their tone softens, their behaviors, because pace is contagious. The slowest stable presence sets the rhythm. Those who cannot match it feel exposed. Those who can feel aligned. Controlled pace also eliminates impulsive mistakes. You stop reacting to pressure signals that were never real. Decisions become cleaner, actions become final. Others begin to sense that when you move, it matters. Men who rush are processed quick. Men who move deliberately are watched closely. This is where people stop overlooking you. They begin to wait. Waiting is attention. Attention is power. If this sign is forming within you, drop this affirmation in the comments. I control the pace. The fifth sign reveals itself when your attention becomes scarce. Not withdrawn out of bitterness, not withheld out of fear, but guarded with precision. People begin to notice that access to you is no longer automatic, and what is no longer automatic becomes valuable. Number 5, the fifth sign is selective engagement. Most men engage with everything. Every comment, every challenge, every opinion demands a response. Machiavelli understood that scattered attention weakens authority. The man who responds to everything is controlled by everything. Selective engagement: do not respond to every remark. You do not correct every misunderstanding. You do not defend yourself against low-value challenges. Sun Tzu warned that fighting every battle guarantees exhaustion. Engagement is a form of combat, even when it is verbal or social. When you engage selectively, you conserve energy and signal discernment. Discernment implies hierarchy. Hierarchy implies status. People begin to notice receive your, others do not, and the absence is not random. Robert Greene wrote that scarcity creates desire and respect simultaneously. When your engagement becomes selective, people start measuring whether they are worth your response. This reversal is critical. Instead of you seeking relevance, relevance seeks you. At first, some will test the boundary. They escalate, they repeat, they attempt, and when nothing happens, uncertainty sets in. Because silence after provocation feels different than silence from passivity. One is weakness, the other is dismissal. Dismissal is power. Selective engagement also removes you from emotional traps. Many conflicts are designed to pull attention downward. When you refuse to enter, those conflicts collapse on their own. Others begin to handle situations without involving you unnecessarily. This is when presence becomes. You are no longer everywhere. You are present where it matters. And where you appear, weight follows. Men who engage with everything dilute their influence. Men who engage selectively. If this sign is forming within you, drop this affirmation in the comments. I engage select. The sixth sign appears under pressure, not comfort. Anyone can appear confident when conditions are calm. Power is revealed when tension rises and nothing leaks. This is the point where people stop seeing you as optional and start seeing you as necessary. Number 6. The sixth sign is consistency under pressure. Most men fracture when stress enters the room. Their voice changes, their posture shifts, their decisions become reactive. Machiavelli understood that instability destroys authority faster than failure. A man who changes under pressure cannot be trusted with weight. Consistency under pressure is not emotional numbness. It is internal structure holding firm when external conditions shift. Your tone stays level, your movements remain, your decisions do not become erratic. Sun Tzu wrote that chaos reveals leadership. When pressure rises, people instinctively search for the most stable presence. Stability signals capacity. Capacity attracts reliance. Reliance creates influence without force, where perception changes sharply. During tension, eyes move toward you. During conflict, people pause to see your reaction. During uncertainty, Robert Greene observed that power solidifies when others begin to orient their behavior around yours. You may not notice it immediately, but the room does. Consistency under pressure quietly places you at the center of gravity. At first, this creates resistance. Some feel threatened and test limits. Some attempt to provoke crack. And when no crack appears, resistance fades. Because pressure exposes truth, and truth, when repeated, becomes reputation. Consistency also builds internal trust. You begin to trust your own responses. There is no fear of saying the wrong thing or acting impulsively. That internal confidence removes hesitation. Hesitation is often mistaken for weakness. Its absence sharpens authority. Men who collapse under pressure, men who remain intact. An anchor does not move with the storm moves around it. If this sign is forming within you, drop this affirmation in the comments. Remain steady under pressure. The seventh and final sign emerges when you stop justifying yourself. When explanation becomes unnecessary, your presence alone communicates authority. People stop asking, people stop testing. Your actions speak louder than words, and mystery becomes your leverage. Number 7, the seventh sign is the disappearance of over-explanation. Most men dilute power by narrating motives, defending decisions, and providing context for every action. Machiavelli observed that justification invites judgment and opens doors for manipulation. Every explanation is an entry point. Every clarification. When over-explaining disappears, behavior becomes self-sufficient. You act, you move, you speak, and nothing else is required. Robert Greene explained that restraint and mystery create influence without confrontation. Others may not fully understand your intentions, but they begin to account for you regardless. They measure your presence before attempting to challenge it. Curiosity replaces familiarity. Mystery replaces predictability. Sun Tzu wrote that concealment is a weapon. When your reasons remain unspoken, people cannot anticipate your next move. They hesitate, they recalibrate, they unconsciously treat your behavior as consequential because it cannot be mapped or predicted. At first, people may press for clarity. They may attempt to provoke, they may test boundaries, and when no clarification comes, influence solidifies. Because absence of explanation does not imply weakness, it implies internal command. Presence no longer requires validation. Respect is assumed, attention follows automatically. This is the point where invisibility becomes impossible. You are no longer ignored. You are unavoidable. You do not need volume. You do not need performance. Authority exists quietly, but power manifests everywhere you move. The dark truth is this: men who overexplain are overlooked. Men who do not overexplain become central figures in every interaction. If this sign is forming within you, drop this affirmation in the comments. I do not overexplain. With these 7 signs fully revealed, the transformation is clear. Becoming a man people cannot ignore is not about aggression, loudness, or spectacle. It is about discipline, presence, emotional control, selective engagement, and mystery. When these signs align within you, attention and influence are drawn naturally, without effort or declaration.